Instead, on July 4th, 1776, Americans declared their independence. Naturally, King George was annoyed, but he wasn't worried. How could children, however rebellious, succeed against a firm father? How could a few colonies hold out against a powerful empire? He'd just send a few more regiments over and then watch the Americans come around. It never occurred to George III that he might not be right. I wish nothing but good, he once said. Therefore, everyone who does not agree with me is a traitor or scoundrel. For a while, King George had every reason to feel confident. The English troops captured New York, and when George heard this, he said one more battle and it would be over. When he was told that his troops had marched into Philadelphia, he ran into the Queen's room. I have beat them, he shouted. Beat all the Americans. But he hadn't beaten them. The fighting went on, and meanwhile George III had to go about the business of being a king. He put his seal on official papers, gave out medals and titles, memorized the name of every ship in the navy, tasted the food sent to the troops, checked on who was spending what, and for hours on end he listened to people talk. Indeed, being a king, especially a good king, was often boring. He couldn't even drop a glove without half the palace, it seemed, stooping to pick it up and arguing about who should have the honor of returning it. Never mind the honor, the king once said. Never mind, never mind. Just give me my glove. What? 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 Yes, you all picked it up. Yes, yes, yes. All. You all picked it up. King George had a habit of talking rapidly and repeating himself so that his talk often sounded like a gobble. But as king, he did have a few advantages. He was, for instance, the most prayed for man in the empire. Naturally, it was pleasant to think of the heavy traffic of prayers ascending on his behalf every Sunday morning from every country church and every city cathedral in every corner of the kingdom. But not in America. There, the preachers gave up praying for him when the punishment started. The king was also the most toasted man. Not no party, except in America, began without all the people present raising their glasses and wishing the king a long life. The king wished it too, and he had the biggest birthday celebration. Each year on June 4th, all the subjects, except in America, of course, celebrated his birthday with parades and banquets and speeches and gunfire and fireworks. All those prayers and toasts and fireworks were not to be sneezed at. Still, there were times when George wanted to forget about being a king. Fortunately, he had hobbies to turn to. For one thing, he made metal buttons. He loved turning a lathe. He worked. He wrote articles on farming and signed himself Ralph Richardson, which was the name of one of his shepherds. He played backgammon with the officers of the royal household, and he collected ship models, coins, clocks, and watches. He had a four-sided clock that even showed the tides. He played the flute and harpsichord, hunted and studied the stars in his private observatory, and for the Queen's special amusement, he maintained a zoo which consisted of one elephant and one zebra.